put everything inside. Whatever you know, put everything inside. Let your Bible, let your child be brought up by you in a godly way, not by YouTube, not by other things, not by your servants or caretakers. Put everything inside. Whatever you know from the Lord, teach them, teach them, teach them. Put the input so that whole life they will not depart from it. And she comes, this woman was a very ordinary woman. If you see her in the second chapter, she blooms like a prophetess. There's a song, all these women sang songs, when they had their babies. Hannah sang songs here. Mary sings a song. Elizabeth sings a song. The songs are prophetic songs. Here she sings, the Lord, I'm in 6th chapter of the 2nd chapter, 6th verse. The Lord brings death and makes alive. He brings down to the grave and raises up. The Lord sends poverty and wealth. He humbles and he exalts. He raises the poor from the dust and lifts the needy from the ash heap. He seats them with princes and has them inherit a throne of honor. He will guard the feet of his faithful servants. It's not by strength that one prevails. Wow, these are awesome prophetic words. She is talking like a poetess. When you go through struggles, you come to the right place. You don't run here and there. You come to the tabernacle. This woman, she was struggling. She was humiliated. And the other woman had all the children. They were laughing and playing and yelling and celebrating. She was crying all inside. She was provoked. She was humiliated. But she came to the tabernacle of the Lord and she cried out her heart to the Lord and gave everything to the Lord. Maybe today, when we finish our thing, we can make even now, maybe in your heart, you can tell God, Lord, this is my one thing I need. I pour it out here. Every week when you come, you can bring all your worries here. You can pour all of them here. Bible says in Psalm 68:19, He carries our burdens daily. NIV says like that. He carries our burdens daily. The Hebrew word says He takes off your burden daily. When you come to the Lord at the end of the day with all your worries, all your humiliations, with all your everything, Bible says when you come, He takes off your burdens. He takes off your weight and make you relax. You go, sleep my son, sleep my daughter in peace. I take off all your burdens. I carry your burdens daily. The other Hebrew is a very beautiful language. There are other words where the other translation says He loads you daily with benefits. He loads you with blessings. Both are there. In Tamil it says He carries your burdens daily. In King James Version says He loads you with benefits. He takes away all your burdens and loads you with His blessings. Do you come to the Lord every day? What's the last thing you do in your life? Is it politics? Listen to all these fellows talking about Modi all the time, all about election news and all. What do you feel in the end of the day? King David says, He carries my burdens daily. He brings all his burdens at the feet of the Lord and takes all his blessings and has a peaceful sleep. I need to practice it. You need to practice it as a child of God. Then we come to the third scenario, 2 Kings 4th chapter, first verse. 2 Kings 4th chapter, 1st verse. And we can look at the Bible with me. The wife of a man from the company of the prophets cried out to Elisha, Your servant, my husband, is dead, and you know that he revered God. But now his creditor is coming to take my 2 boys as slaves. She was fully hopeless. There's no hope for this woman. She was a prophet's wife, maybe a pastor's wife, maybe a missionary's wife, somebody like that today. And the man had a habit of borrowing, and he never paid back. He died suddenly, and here is a woman who comes and tells Elisha, Hey, I have nothing. The creditors are coming to take my boys as slaves. Those days it was slavery time, he's going to take. Elisha replied to her. The first time we saw Jacob directly talking to God in the private place. Second time we see Hannah coming to the worship place, maybe a church, something like a place of worship, comes to talk to God. Third, here we see going to a man of God. It's like maybe going to the pastor's office, going to the pastor, a pastor's wife. It's a man of God, a woman of God interaction. And Elisha replied to her, second verse, I'm in Kings 4 chapter, second verse. Elisha replied to her, how can I help you? Tell me, what do you have in your house? She says, your servant has nothing there at all. Your servant has nothing there at all. And then she remembers, except a small jar of olive oil. A small is big in the hands of God. 5 loaves and 2 fishes are enough and more when you give it to the Creator, El Elohim, to recreate and to feed 5,000 men, 5,000 women, and how many children they have, we don't know. Small is big when you give it to God. When you give it to God, as long as it's in your hand, it's just a small bottle of oil. When God takes it over, it can do wonders. And this is a story of faith actually. He says, then Elisha says, go around and ask all your neighbors for empty jars. Don't ask for just a few. It's a tricky thing actually. He says, go ask for empty jars. Don't ask just for a few. I saw one of the pictures. When you make a PowerPoint on Bible stories, you can go to Google image or somewhere and look for pictures. One picture was the whole house is full of big jars. Like the wedding at Cana, 30 gallons of water each, so big jars, the whole place full of jars. And she brings everything, all the children go everywhere, bring everything, all the bottles, every jar together, whole fall. Then he says, close your door, start pouring oil into the jars. As each one is filled, put it one side. She did that. They brought the jars to her. She kept on pouring. When all the jars were full, she said to her son, bring me another one. And it stopped. She replied, and he replied, there's no jar left. Then the oil stopped flowing. She went and told the man of God, and he said, go, sell the oil, pay your debts, you and your sons can live on what is left. She really had faith. If she had little faith, she would have had little result. If the woman had lots of faith, so she could sell them. I don't know how much, we can't imagine all the stories, and she had enough to live for her life. God is an awesome God. But when God tells you to do something, obey. No, how is it going to happen? No, God, this God, that God. And God says, go to Oklahoma, take this job, obey. Anywhere. The same God who is in Sacramento, Folsom is in Alaska. Wherever God sends you, just go. The people of God, the Israel people, they told Joshua, wherever you send me, we will go. Whatever you tell us, we will do. And God tells you something, Abraham, God tells, like when you study Bible, Haran was a place where they had nice double-story houses, beautiful palace-like houses. They had everything. They were palatial. It's a rich place. It was a crossroad of the best commercial place. God tells him, get up and go. All your life, live in tents. He and his wife, they packed up everything. They lived in tent after tent. They put their tent here, put their tent. Their whole life they lived in tent. But this man who had no children became the father of nations. God said, look at the stars. You'll have more children. If you can count the stars, you can count your children and grandchildren. This God, when He says something, you just obey. There are people, recently one boy was telling, he's an engineer, has a very good job. His wife is a doctor. She's not able to clear the exams here. God is telling them to go to India, and she'll be working as a doctor and he'll be working as an engineer. They are considering, they are willing to go, leave everything and go back to India. God can do anything. God can tell you anything. He can do anything in any time. If He says go, you do. Maybe He can bring you back or bring you anywhere. God can do awesome. We have our life in our hands. When we say, Lord, I belong to you, I fully surrender, He takes and does beautiful things. The whole world is His. 223 countries are His. He can put you here for 5 years, 10 years here, do this, do this, do this. Whole life He can do things. We retired, went back home, and I didn't know what to do as a retired person. Then God calls us to come back to Guyana. He puts people like you to support us. God took us back to Guyana. We are working with children this time. We always worked with university and college students. Now we are working kids 6 years to 13 years, and we enjoy it. And God is saving them, discipling them. This new generation of kids are coming in Guyana. This God is an awesome God. We come to the next passage, Matthew 11. Actually, I gave a wrong thing. 27th verse we start. Matthew 11, 27. It says, all things have been committed to me by my Father. There are different places Jesus announces that I am not what you are thinking. I am somebody different. Here he says, all things have been committed to me by my Father. The word all means each and everything. Everything has been given to me by my Father. Another place we see the similar thing, John chapter 13, it says when Jesus says, Jesus knew where he came from and where he is going back. Then he removed his coat and wore a towel and started washing their feet. He knew that he is King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. He came from heaven, he's going back to heaven. He knew who he is. Then he removed his thing and started serving people. We also see him in the Great Commission. It says, all power and authority is given unto me. Therefore you go and make disciples. I will be with you always, even to the end of the age. He puts his royal coat, he puts his royal crown and tells a few things. And here he says, all things have been committed to me by my Father. Then 28th verse says, shall we read it together? 28 and up to 30, can we read it together? In whatever language you have, read. We are reading Matthew 11, 28 to 30. 1, 2, 3.
Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
Thank you. Wow. Think about this phrase. He says, all things have been committed to me by my Father. He says, come unto me, all you are weary and heavy burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. We saw 3 scenarios. One guy messed up his relationships. Come to me, I will give you rest. The other person, she had everything but one thing she lacked. She didn't have child. Everybody's irritating her. Such person, come unto me, I will give you rest. Third scenario we saw, no hope at all. Husband died, no nothing, she has nothing but a bottle of oil. Come unto me, I will give you rest. Then there is a transfer happening. You give something and get something in exchange. In India they have this exchange mela. You give your old car and drive out a Honda. Exchange mela. You bring all your rubbish, all your heavy hearted things, all your heavy burdens. Come unto me, give it to me, and I will give rest. I'll give something. I take my yoke upon you and learn from me. Then he says, for my yoke is easy, my burden is light. You bring all your things, I'll give you something new. Take my yoke upon you. I have certain things for you to do. I have a will, I have God's will, I have God's plans for you. I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, plans to give you hope and a future. You have your own plans, you're running this way, that way, you think you're smart. You do a lot of things, we do a lot of stuff. We have collected a lot of burdens. You come and give all those things. and I'll give you my yoke. My yoke is easy, my burden is light. When I was small, we lived in a village-like situation. My father's brother had bullock carts. They had this yoke. The word yoke, Greek word, is a pair of yoke. It's not just one single bull carrying, double pair of yoke. When you love your animal, you make it very shining, you make it polished, and that yoke is very, very lovely. You make it very as smooth as possible, so that your animal will happily come. Have you seen? I don't know. My uncle's bulls always came willingly. As soon as he comes, they'll come. He'll put the fat and all. He'll love them, and he balances so well. And before keep thing, it's not. There are cruel fellows. They don't own the thing, they are just hirelings. If you own the thing, you want your bulls to serve long, you love them, care for them, you balance and all that. I always think these hostel girls, when they go home, if they have a bag too heavy, two of them will carry one side each. So when two people carry, it's so easy. Same way, when two bulls carry a burden, it's easy. And when they buy a new bull in the market and bring it, the fellow looks nice, but they never run on a bullock cart. So at first he runs as a third animal, because he wants to know the road and all. He runs as a third person. They put them third. After some time, they put a strong bull who knows the stuff, knows the road and everything, and he puts the next person. The strong one does 100% job or 95% job. This fellow just walks along. That's Jesus. He says, my yoke is easy. Come, let's walk together. I am giving my best. I am trained. I know everything about you. I can take you wherever you have to go. I am the lead bull. I am the lead horse. You just walk along with me. Take my yoke. It's easy. My burden is light. Just carry only what I need. I give you to carry. Don't carry all your burdens. Today we are going to do exchange, Mela. We come to the Lord with all our worries, all our hopelessness, with whatever we have carried all our life. Our fears, this fellow was distressed and afraid. Jacob, all our fears, we come and say, Lord, here I am. I come with all these things. I put them, and give me your yoke. Give me your thing. The other day we were staying in the house. They have a big dog, and they have the belt-like thing. And once the fellow gets in, you can carry it wherever you want to go. It doesn't run here wild. Just like that, you get into God's yoke. He is a lovely master, caring master. He will take you along His pathways. His ways are beautiful. He's a loving shepherd. He knows when to rest you, when to feed you, when to give you beautiful water, when to make you lie down, when to give you a tough thing, when to follow it with a peace posting. This God is an awesome God. He's calling you today. Shall we close our eyes? Shall we tell the Lord, here I am, Lord. I'm doing this exchange now. You say, come unto me, all you who are weary and heavy burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Tell the Lord, Lord, I have messed up some relationships. I come to you, Lord. Heal my relationships, Lord. Lord, I have everything but one thing I lack. I come to you. I come to your worship place. I pour out my heart. I don't want to be sad anymore, because when I tell you, you hear. When I know that you have heard, I know that I already have what I asked for. I want to thank you. Lord, maybe like this woman, widows of the prophet, Lord, I have no hope. I am hopeless. No future. Whatever I have, I give to you, Lord. I have only a degree, only a visa, I have only a new marriage, only this much I have, I give it to you. God says, bring all that you have to me. I'll give you rest. Rest for your soul. Soul means thinking, mind. Soul means emotions and a heart, sadness, joy, frustration, humiliation, inferiority complex, whatever emotions we go through. Soul also means a will, hard will, strong will, weak will. I give my will. I want your will to become my will. He says, take my yoke on you. My yoke is easy, my burden is light. Lord, I give you all my plans. I give you all my worries, all my guilt. Forgive me, Lord. Cleanse me. Heal me. All my needs I bring to you, Lord. In exchange, I take your yoke. You're humble and gentle at heart. I take your yoke and I walk along. You and I together walk this life beautifully, peacefully, because you know where you're taking us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.